Hey. Oh, there I am. Hey. It is Friday. Friday. The 12th of June, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on the West Coast. I am Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps, or we as a collective of martial arts school owners predominantly, but small businesses across the board come together. We want to figure out this thing called life. We want to run our businesses better. We want to create the freedom that we believe should come with owning a business, right? Freedom of time, freedom to spend with your loved ones, freedom to buy a home, freedom to save for retirement, right? And freedom to take good care of yourself in all of this. I'm passionate about that. It is my purpose. And over a decade, we've had this show, and we love the ability to impact martial arts school owners and small businesses throughout the world. So let's begin by thanking our sponsors. Who do we have? Tucson, Market Muscles, Kids Love Life Skills, LC Accounting, Kin Creative. You know, they're all amazing companies. I was just at Tucson the other day at the warehouse. I picked up some mats for my garage. I was on the line with Steven Reinstein talking about Kai, their AI agent that'll answer your phone for you. I was talking to Letitia at Kids Love Life Skills, and somebody was saying, hey, can I get custom stripes made through you guys? I said, absolutely. You know, talking again, Letitia over at LC Accounting now, defining our budget, where we are halfway into the year. And of course, Kin Creative, where we're constantly trying to deal with the algorithms that social media marketing is always ever changing to maximize the potential of an ad that we run for you. And that type of work is never ending. And I was expressing that in our group mentoring today, segue into that. All right, it's time group mentoring. We're not consultants. We're mentors. We are mentors. So I encourage you. You can come hang out with us for a month for free. Just tell them I said so. Come spend a month with us for free. See what we do. And I promise you, you will see the difference, right? We care about your success. We want to know. We customize our language, our thinking. And of course, we use tried and true systems and processes. But I think what's unique is when we don't sell you our version of success, and we really try to understand how you behave, strengths and weaknesses, how your community acts, what they needs, and can you fulfill those needs. I think it's real important. And that's what makes what we do so unique. So it's time group mentoring. Get a free month from us. Go ahead and dial that in and hit us up anytime and tell them Brannon said so. Cool. It's time Live United. So far, we got 3 of the spots filled out of the 20, and it's only June. The event is November 7th through the 10th. Spend 4 days with us. Again, unlike anything in the martial arts industry, it is a retreat. It is a 4 days of self-discovery, vision mapping, systems, staff development, branding, wealth building. We go on and on and on. We're out in nature. We're on the mat. We're in the, lab working. It's very intense, and you deserve it. You deserve 4 days with us. I'm highly encouraging you to be one of the 20. There's 3 spots already filled. And we're very transparent with that. We're not going to sell you some line of BS. 3 spots left. Yeah, you've been saying that for 10 years now. 3 spots left, right? It's the truth. 17 spots left. You should be one of them. So where are we today? Summertime is a beast. Summertime is a beast for martial arts school owners because we're either doing, hey, Bob, my brother from Gold's Martial Arts. Oh, you're in Denmark? Wow, Bob, you're tuning in all the way from Denmark. Love you, Bob. Good for you. Summertime is bizarre because you got one fraction in the martial arts industry going, I can't wait for back to school. Right? You got the next fraction who head on into summer day camps, right? But I think when I talk about what's your next move, what are you doing internally, right, to preserve and retain the students that aren't going away this summer? What specialty events are you creating for them, right? That should be the first thing that was on your radar in May. And as I shared, I think I did this in our show a couple of weeks ago, don't change the schedule, right? Don't inconvenience people, incentivize it. We're doing a Summer of Excellence contest where you earn tickets for coming to class. You earn tickets for leaving us a review. You earn tickets for downloading the app. You earn tickets for coming to specialty events. And at the end of the summer, we'll have a big drawing and give away a cash prize and some other things. Cool. That's another thing we're doing. We're making sure to stay on top of the kids that are on hold for the summer, sending them a "We Miss You" postcards, letting them know that you will earn your belt when you get back from vacation, plying them by sending the videos we always do each month to the kids to know what to practice for their next stride. So we pretty much think we got all the retention stuff in place, retention events every month, right? We got one, the Dad and Me in June. We have a weapons workshop in July. We have a family fun day in August. So we got it going. I believe all those things are in place. Um, so what's your next move? You know, what is your next move? And I'm talking about the type of mindset that a lot of people don't advocate for. What your next move is not based upon tomorrow, next week, next month. I'm talking about your next move that has the potential to impact your business for the next 1 to 3 years, 3 to 5 years, five and beyond. Okay. Because those moves so often require more money. You want to remodel, you want to do things like that. But if you remodel that school, it's going to improve your retention. It's a better Disney experience, right? I think Starbucks refurbishes their stores every 3 to 5 years, something like that, right? Total makeover. It's a makeover because fresh paint, fresh look, just so much for the morale of your tribe. So think about that. Another one that we're working on heavily right now is employing AI agents. I'm going to tell you why. Because there is the infraction of people that are just pushing back on me so hard about that. So hard about that. Now, you know where I stand on AI, right? I understand the value of it, but I understand the shortcomings of it. And as AI technology is moving a lot faster than human connection. If anything, it's advocating for less human connection and more AI connection, right? It is. There's people out there in the universe that have full on girlfriends and boyfriends that are AI. It's crazy. It's just insane. Insane. But I see the value in it, okay, to a certain degree. So imagine the mom on a Sunday night, the kids are in bed, she's got her glass of wine, and she want to research, you know, day camps or research back to school activities or research her after school program. She does not want you calling her at 9 o'clock on a Sunday. If anything, it's creepy, right? But to be able to tap into an AI agent that has a knowledge base that's rich in the 35 fundamental questions the mom's going to ask about your after school program or martial arts classes is a good day. And you let her know that, hey, I'm the so and so virtual agent for One Martial Arts. Let them know that right up front so they know who they're talking to. You with me? And that's valuable. That's very valuable. So imagine you call One Martial Arts and you'll never miss a call again in your life. And an AI agent picks it up. Because contrary to what we believe when we have front desk staff, right, operating hours 4 o'clock to 8 or whatever, and no mom calling you from 4 to 8. There's no mom calling you from 4 to 8. What is she doing? Picking up the kids, trying to get home, trying to make dinner, or get to a martial arts or soccer practice or gymnastics practice or whatever. She is not calling you when that front desk is there during operating hours. If anything, it's the opposite. That front desk should be out there as an ambassador of your brand, talking to people, building relationships, mitigating challenges, and doing things that way. You with me? So I believe the AI agent has a lot of legs. It's very cumbersome. You got to get it to ask the right questions. Sometimes it responds very wanky. I said that to you too. My studio, that's not a good answer. I would never say that. So how do we fix that? So there's things, you don't set it and forget it. I think you pay attention to it and recognize that AI is not perfect. It's not. So I highly recommend the AI agents to answer your phones. Now, when you opt into our website, it gets zapped into my studio. Same thing. You start getting a text conversation right away, right? They used to say you got to answer a lead within 5 minutes. Well, because of the advent of AI, guess what? People are pissed off if you don't respond in 30 seconds. Why? Humans are conditioned. They are conditioned that when I ask a question, I get an answer immediately, whether it's at your website, whether it's zapped into my studio, or whether I call your phone at your business. I want an answer now. So again, utilizing AI for that purpose, I think is wonderful. And you could put a safeguard in place saying, hey, and if you do want to talk to a human being, then call us during these hours and be confident you'll speak to a human. Or leave your name through this thread and we will call you back. However you want to mitigate that. Cool. So that's why I think AI is very powerful for what we do. And as we run down that, is a whole slew of people that want humanism. I don't believe some, robot like Baymax in Hero 6 or Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator 2 is going to replace a martial arts instructor. I simply, not at least in our lifetime, the sophistication, the emotional intelligence that needs to go into that is probably decades away. And it's still that X factor that will make AI never human because they can't be human. So that X factor, the thing you can't program, you can't code, you can't just draw data from, the unpredictability of being human. That thing when two human beings connect on an emotional level because they're human cannot be replicated by AI. And it never will because it's AI. So one of the things I believe strategically, our next move is to really review all of our systems that allow us to interact on an even higher human level with our parents and our students, a higher level. Here's a simple one that we've employed. We're doing class, right? The parents are behind the kids are facing me, I face the parents. At some point, we turn that class around and they face the parents. And then we have different kids lead. And that those phones come out and we highlight and spotlight the kid. That's a prime example of humanism in our culture at its highest. Why? Instructor, student, parent. All three are interacting. And one of the strong indicators of a successful human interaction for me is when I see that phone come out and the parent is shooting a video. We had that yesterday. Anytime their child is leading, the parent will take out the cell phone. So look at your current processes and ask yourself, where can I put more highlighting and spotlighting in a given class? Where can I do that? Because I will guarantee you, every time that kid is highlighted and spotlighted and they are physically leading a class, that phone comes out. Now, how do I think this helps retention from 0 to 18 months? Well, you have to present it. This kid's already freaked out. It's a new environment. Maybe they're the leader and you stand next to them and do it with them. Maybe they're the leader and you count and cue saying who could be louder than Johnny, who could be stronger than Johnny, who could be faster than Johnny, who could kick more correct than Johnny. And it's fundamentally the same class, only Johnny's up at front being highlighted and spotlighted, name being said, et cetera, et cetera. That's an example of what our next move will be. I share this in our mentoring, and I think it's brilliant. Culturally, One Martial Arts is a community. My wife had some extra mermaid decorations from a party that changed their theme. Because, my wife does all the decorations for the theme birthday parties. She overheard in the day camp, one of our kids said they're doing a mermaid birthday party. Not at our school. So my wife overheard it and said, we have these extra decorations. I want to give it to their family. I hit up the dad. The dad said, well, her birthday's in August, and I don't know. She didn't mention a mermaid thing. I said, well, we have decorations. If you'd like them, we'll give them to you. That's an example that humanism quantifies for. AI would have never processed that if a robot was standing there. Yeah, I was in Lowe's yesterday, and they have a robot walking around doing inventory. That's how they do inventory now. So this thing's walking, rolling down the aisle. Its beams are out like this, and it's doing inventory of the store. And I couldn't talk to this thing. We couldn't have a conversation. I couldn't ask him where the paint was. Nothing, because it's programmed to do one thing: take inventory. There you go. Right. So again, I think once you get past that threat, you're going to lean into AI in a very unique way. Just please, if I see one more ad at social media, where it's black and red and white and it looks like a movie poster, I'm going to throw up. You guys are better than that. So your next move, as much as I'm the AI guy, I'm going to tell you, you need to create more organic, homegrown posts and things and stop being lazy. Take 2 hours on a Sunday, take all the footage you shot that week and create something meaningful in line with your brand, like goals, martial arts. I can just go crazy with that. Our goal is to help your child be the best version of themselves through confidence, right? Sure. Wonderful. At least it's yours, right, Bob? It's all yours. And I'm an advocate for that. I write scripts for Kin Creative. I would never have AI write that script for me. No way. But AI will say, we teach focus and discipline. We build confidence. I say, Isn't it amazing when your child discovers their potential and starts believing in themselves? Boom, that's Brannon, right? But it's the same thing, right? It's confidence, which means to believe in yourself. So I want you to do that. I think one of your next big moves should be to go through your website, social media, and everything and really, really clean that up. There's so much inconsistency, so much inconsistency. Even with me, I'm working on it too, and I'm not afraid to delete posts now. There's so much inconsistency because human minds are fragmented. No human mind consistently thinks one way. But when we vomit at social media and we do that, we hurt our brand. We create distrust. All right? And stay with me now using AI again. AI systems are looking for that difference now because they're bombarded with AI copy, generic messaging, AI enhanced photos, et cetera, et cetera. It is just flooded social media with that kind of crap. So in turn, Facebook now has to go, well, how do I stop giving people tire kickers, right? When they're doing all this money, spending money on ads and things like that. Well, they want brands that are well thought out. And we've always advocated for that. One of my big questions, and I'll pose it to you again, and it's something you should lean into all the time, is why do I want to come to you versus Joe Karate down the street? That's it. And you have to answer that question, right? In Bob's case, he can say, well, here at Goals Martial Arts, we chose that name because it was a goal of my mom's to open a confection store. Am I right, Bob? She wanted to open a candy store or baked goods. And she was never able to realize that dream because your mom got sick and passed away, if I may share that, Bob. So it became my mission, my purpose to not only fulfill my mom's goals, but to help every young person fulfill their goals. Not while they can, right? But because they can. Oh, I like that, right? Right? Your mom was never able to do that. I think that's a story, Bob. And any mom out there with a 6-year-old is going to find kinship in that, find value in that. That's at least a better reason to bring my kid to you, Bob, versus Joe Karate down the street that's simply going, we teach focus, we teach discipline, right? Are you with me? Are you with me on that, Bob? So again, we have to be brave enough, and this should be part of your next move, to tell your story. Now, salesmen will tell you nobody gives a SHIT. Nobody does, right? About who you are. It's just what have you done for lately, for what you've done for me lately, what's in it for me, right? I understand. The demographic is a 6-year-old kid who's shy, but I want to know who can I trust my 6-year-old kid who's shy? Who can I trust them with? So a simple next move for me is to go into the website and put serving the San Francisco and Millburg community since the year 2000. How many martial arts schools can say that? I don't know. I'm going to go back into our About page and put our teaching staff has over 50 years of combined training and teaching experience. How many people can say that? I don't know. But you know who picks that up? The algorithms at Google when people are doing a Google search, right? But it's no longer the main Google search is karate schools near me. No. It's very, very specific things, right? A confidence building activity for my child. They're being very specific. And so I want to make sure in my social media, at my Google business page, at my website, I'm telling a story that's not only in line with them, but one that would also best position our business as the only school they want to come to. So that's the neat thing about AI is it's really looking for why. And you know me, I'm the purpose guy. I love the why. The why is big for me. But I would never just post a million pictures of me and center it around me and my ego because the algorithms are going to kick that thing to the curb. You're only doing is talking about you. What? How does this answer that simple Google search of a mom, right? Confidence building activity for my child. It got nothing to do with my 150 trophies. Nothing. Has nothing to do with my 9th degree. But Research Rita wants to know once you satisfy that you will teach confidence to her shy child, that you are an authority at what you do. You with me? Who's with me on this? Right? And as you come aboard, say hi. Let me know that you're listening. A lot of people watch the show, but they don't say hi. I love to know that you're here. So that's one of our big next moves. It's really leaning into our brand even more and making sure organically on a human level, we write systems for my team to perform better, um, and create that human connection. We made a really great shift in our day camps this year. We really leaned into more of the emotional intelligence training than we did just the safety nuts and bolts, right? Safety would be how to walk to the park, how to hold the stop sign, what streets to cross, how to keep our lines tight so the kids get safely to the park and back, all those different things. All those different things. With that's a standard, because if my kid's not safe, I'm not cool here. I don't trust you. But what we really did, we did a lot of training on emotional intelligence. And I would recommend you make that investment into your team on that level, because the more they get the kid, the more the child is seen. I want kids to be seen and heard and valued. That is retention 101. How can you make sure every one of your students are seen? How can you make sure every one of them have a voice? How can you make sure every one of those students are valued? That is not through a front kick. That is not through, highlighting and spotlighting by itself. It is through a deeper level of understanding and thinking on the head instructor's part. It's him as the visionary or her as the visionary or architect, putting things in place where this team is constantly being fed the right type of data to create a higher level of emotional intelligence so they serve your students and families better. Right? And I think Melody Johnson's on the track, when it comes to educating ourselves on how to understand the way children think, right? In today's world. But that's one part of it. There's the other part. How do the parents think? What's the environment I cultivate? How do I do that? Can I create trust with a hello at the front door each and every time somebody walks through it? Yes, absolutely. If I consistently do it, and if everybody's acknowledged, they feel valued, right? I shared that story the other day in a training where one dad sits in this one spot every time he comes into the school. And I make it a point to walk by that dad who's sitting on the end of the bench. I put my hand on his shoulder and I say, "Good afternoon, sir." Every time. Every time. He counts on that. That's how him and I connect on a human level. I don't miss it. Another dad I hug. His daughter's one of our black belts. I don't hug the women. I think it's inappropriate, in today's world. But I'm a hugger. So I give this one dad a hug. And the wife laughs. She says, nobody hugs him. He's not that kind of guy. But he hugs me. See? So that's what's unique. That's the humanism part that we're cultivating in our business that I encourage everybody to look for, as long as it's appropriate, right? And when you are that present, the magic happens. It happens because your intent and your purpose is clear, right? It's clear. And you're trying to fulfill something, and it's very clear. Live your best life. If every parent, student feels valued in my school, then they're living their best life. So that's one of our big moves. We're see, big moves. Your next move is not about adding a new program all the time. Your next move is not simply about, painting the school. It's really about looking at what you do. Hey, Jeremy, what's happening, sir? Let's see. What's he sharing? I'm sorry. Jeremy Keller. Hello, sir. Good to see you still sharing common sense and humanity. Yes, sir. Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate, because I think more than ever, it's who we are as humans. It's what we need in a world of AI, because AI is moving so fast. Human connection is not. If anything, look, we're at Zoom right now, right? The human connection has to be cultivated through a Zoom, and just simply me acknowledging you, saying hello, and taking a second in my show to talk to you personally, that helps bridge the gap at Zoom, right? And in this case, StreamYard. That's a simple example. When Bob came on today, I said, "Hey, Bob Poole, the Goals Martial Arts, what's happening, sir?" That's simple. That's like our hello at the front door, right? That's our hello at the front door. That's that hug I give the dad. And I share that with my team. Look for those type of connections. Another one for me is tonality. I have one girl named Lily. And every time I see her, I go, hello, Miss Lily. We're kind of this weird English brogue accent, right? And she's tickled pink, and she always runs up and gives me a hug. I have another kid, AJ, and I hang him upside down. I can't do it too much longer, but every time I see him, I hang him upside down. And his dad just loves it. He just loves it. He's tickled pink when I do that. And he expresses it. Oh, we love you, Professor. Those type of moments, they're fleeting, but we have that opportunity. And one of the times I saw that I thought was pretty brilliant, it was a reel I saw, and it was a Japanese school, right, in Japan. And the teacher stands at the front door, right? And as each student comes in, she has a special handshake for each one of them, right? Each one is slightly different. They never do the same handshake. That's brilliant because it's saying, I see you, not just, okay, everybody, same handshake, same high five, high five, high five, high five, high five. It's so blah, right? At that point. So I saw that and I thought it was brilliant. And one of the things I would do when I spoke at the Super Show, I would stand at that front door and greet everybody. Everybody. I would greet them, ask them their name. What's the name of their school? And I made the point to do that. So again, that was a reel. I saw it and I thought that was brilliant. Jeremy's adding, exactly. When a person is seen, connection is made. It's like a coach who has a personal handshake for every team member. Yeah. And that's what I saw in that Japanese school, right? LeBron does it. LeBron does it, for the lack of it. He's not my favorite player, but LeBron does it, right? Each of his teammates, he has a special handshake interaction before they start the game. That's leadership at its highest level because it promotes autonomy. It says you're not just a team. No, you are Luca. You are Austin Reeves. You are Jeremy Haynes, right? You are Hayes. You are. That's super valuable. Super valuable. And because I haven't been teaching a lot, and I'm only teaching a lot now because TJ was on paternity leave and he comes back June 15th. So I'm a little sad. I'm going to go back to teaching 1 day a week. Is I'm always saying, hey, I don't know your name. Please tell me your name. And I'm always apologizing because you know what? I'd rather learn their name than sit with my ego, right? Of not having to apologize because I don't know this student's name who's been here for 2 years, but I don't teach. So I've been apologizing a lot over the past 8 weeks, a lot. And I'm okay with that because if I can look at that student and say, hey, Ritu, I have that one. And you know how that happened? The mom had to point it out to me that I didn't know her daughter's name because I'll use things like, cool job, buddy. Thank you, ma'am. Things like that when I don't know their name. And that's lazy. I have to take accountability. And it's leadership by example. It truly is, right? In our mentoring, we had that discussion about that is if we as the leaders can be the most vulnerable, if we as the leaders can do that, the potential's there. It's there. And one of the most vulnerable leaders I ever saw, who the yin to the yang was also super tough and super hard, was Walt Disney. Walt Disney would walk into a meeting. You're asking me things about, how to draw this cartoon that you've been working on for 6 months, right? This new feature movie, Snow White. I don't know. I'm not, you guys do the daily grind. I have nothing to do with it. So Disney would always say, what do you think? Well, I just asked you, Walt. And he would return with, what do you think? I use it all the time. What do you think? And that shows my team that I'm willing to say, I don't know. I don't know everything. And I trust you guys, right? That's why the average team has been with me 15 years now. They trust me that I will take care of them in a way that's unique. And that's a whole nother show. But that's important. So in the world of technology and AI and everything, as much as I'm an advocate for it, I'm also about yin and yang. And the more we can double down on humanism, the better off we're going to be. Every time that parent sits there on their cell phone in your class, I had that yesterday and I had to tell this grandma to get off her phone. She was on the mat working with her grandson and she took a freaking call. And I just had to remind her, please, ma'am, we're in the middle of class. If you really need to take your call, feel free. And I'll work with your grandson, right? That's cool. Not going to get mad. No big deal. Because the world we live in, the phone's so automatic. It's like another appendage, right? I don't think people mean to be rude or disrespectful. I think it's just automatic. People look in their phone like what 900,000 times a day, something ludicrous, but that happens and that's okay, right? Again, we're understanding, we're empathetic. That's why people come to us, right? If you can learn to master empathy, it's one of the highest levels of emotional intelligence out there. When I'm empathetic to a parent, the power of that relationship begins because every day that parent is working in some situation, whether it's school, the gymnastics class, where she's getting pushback because her kid's not falling in line and doing what everybody else does. You with me? So we are inclusive. I think that should be everybody's next move. Find some way to include everybody, everybody, everybody. But it was shared to me in one of my group calls that, they do the kid part, the one of my excellent kids program where it's full parent participation class, and they've licensed the program. They found out one of the people in class were on one of those child lists. Um, I don't know, child lists, where you're a child predator or something like that. Phone usage by age group. Oh man, 13 to 18, 100 to 150 checks a day. Adults, usually 80 to 120 checks a day. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Oh, there you go. Those are real facts. Thank you, Marco. And she found out this dad was on one of those child predator lists. So she said, what should I do? I said, well, what do you want to do? She goes, well, I don't think he should be in this class. I said, very good. Then make sure you do that privately and acknowledge that and ask the dad to leave. That's it. I mean, because those are your moral values. That's how you run your business, right? People should honor that. And if someone's on a child predator list, I don't believe they should be in your school. Again, that's my belief system, right? What do you believe? That's really the better question. So when they posed that question to me, I pretty much said, what do you think? Well, I don't want him in my class. He shouldn't be around children. You've got a very good point. Then do it privately, let him go quietly, and leave it at that. Yeah. Imagine he's going to go public with that and post it everywhere. They were prejudiced against me. No, I mean, he's on a child predator list. There you go. Done day, right? Done day. So at the end of the day, being able to say to your team, what do you think, is powerful. And that is always going to be one of my next moves is I want to create an environment where my team is successful. I want to create an environment where the students and families are successful. And that requires pivoting, adapting, being mindful, creating an autonomous environment where your team is allowed to speak freely, not where they're going to be, singled out and chastised for it. No, where they're going to be celebrated for having the courage to bring a challenge to light in your business to make it better and fulfill the purpose. In our case, to live your best life, right? To live your best life. And at the end of the day, we're having our best year ever. We had our best quarter ever. We're on a path to do $2.2 million this year. God willing, it all falls that way. But I believe it's because a lot of the things that you can't measure data-wise produce really good data. It's hard to measure saying hello at the front door is going to improve your retention. It's hard to measure when I put my hand on this dad's shoulder and say, good afternoon, sir, that you can measure that as data. It's hard to measure when we're in a team meeting that I validate someone for having the bravery to speak up and the vulnerability to speak up, that they trust the safe environment I'm trying to create as a leader, that it equates to retention on an employee level. There's nothing to validate that, right? It comes down to belief system, belief system, belief system. What is your belief system? You with me? So I want you to think about that. What else do I think your next move should be? Well, coming into the fall, right? That's always a standard. I should be making sure back to school is in position. My whole calendar should be planned out for the summer, but I'm already making sure the calendar is planned out from the last quarter of the year, right? October, November, December. Those last 3 months of the year should be planned out. Holiday parties, bully awareness in October, Thanksgiving breaks, all those different things should be done. should be done. That's something you can do this summer. And of course, one of the big things we've pushed for is we do a retention event every month, because we know the attrition rate from 0 months to 18 months is horrible. It's always been that way, but we don't give up. We keep working on it. So one of our next moves this year was every month is a retention event. Because when I can go to the brand new kid on his first month and say, hey, this month we have the dad and me. In July, we got this really cool weapons workshop, right? In August, we have this big family fun day. In September, we have the Art and Wine Festival, on and on. October, we have the Halloween event, right? November, we're going to help work as a community and gather food for the food bank. December, we have this great annual party, on and on and on. If I can add value and promote culture, it's a win-win. So let me get this straight. For what I pay for classes, my kid can bring his dad to this dad and me party for free? Absolutely. Yes. Yes, they can. Oh, okay. Great. On and on. So we've made the discipline this year of doing a retention event every month. It's not to generate leads. It's not about anything other than adding value. Because if I give you $1 and you give me $10 worth of value, I am happy. You with me? I am happy. Same thing here. Same thing here, okay? So that's a big one. You know, we are already pre-sold almost half of our after-school program, which I'm very grateful for and very happy. Very grateful for, very happy. Now we need to double down, we have our direct mail pieces, which we only do for our after-school pickup program. We have to start getting that ready to go out into the mail in July. See, there's another thing, right? That's one of our next moves, is to consistently do the things that help us be successful even better. Write it down. Because when I often work with school owners who are having challenges, and I ask them, what was the 3 things you did to become successful? They will tell me. I say, are you still doing those 3 things? Well, no, I'm not. And then I ask, why? Because what you were doing that worked becomes stale and it's not working. It doesn't mean you abandon it. Your next move should be to make it better, right? Make it better. Not abandon it altogether, about reviewing it and making it better. Many great businesses go deeper instead of bigger. And by going deeper, they can raise the tuition. By going deeper, they have wait lists. By going deeper, they create the space where they are the Rolls Royce, the Bentley of martial arts instruction. And that's what we take pride on. We have 2 locations and we generate over $2 million a year because we are the Bentley of martial arts instruction. But it takes a lot to do that. Consistent staff training, consistent curriculum review and updates to it, good curriculum videos, an amazing life skills system. Kids love life skills, which I created. All those different moving parts are why we can charge what we do. And the example of that is, right? And it's all about the experience you create, right? And proximity and everything. For example, if I go to Costco and buy a bottle of water, it's what, 10 cents? I take that same bottle of water and I buy it at the airport, it's going to cost me $5. It's the same bottle of water, but it's going to cost me $5. Why? Why? Why not? Because I'm in the airport. You can't bring liquids into the airport once you get past TSA, and I need water. Well, supply and demand. Okay, there you go. See, again, if I need water that bad and I'm in the airport and I've walked through it and I don't have a water bottle to fill at a water station, which they've started to put in, and I think that was a very good move culturally. You know, great airports have water stations where if you emptied your water bottle and you bring it in, you can fill it up at the water station. And that, I think, is brilliant because it's no longer holding people hostage. Same thing here. You want to be the person who's spending $5 on a bottle of water in the airport. Same water, just like there's all these different martial arts schools. Why is yours more expensive than anybody else? And for us, it's $279 a month for twice a week. Why? I want to know why. And so through emails, automations, texts, website, social media, We're constantly telling that story. And again, if it's anybody's next move, please learn to tell your story well and be consistent in it. Be very consistent. Look at a great company like Apple. They are very consistent in their storytelling. Look at Tesla. Elon Musk, he's very consistent in telling his story, right? And so in my own personal process, I'm a storyteller. And so are you. So are you. You really are. You just don't realize it yet because you haven't nurtured it. You haven't spent time with it enough to recognize the value of storytelling on a level, on a level that is equal. That is equal. You with me? And you got to have faith in that, right? You came in as a student, you became an instructor, you became a black belt, you became an instructor, you decided to make this your life's work. You have a unique story. Stop listening to salespeople that simply tell you, nobody gives a crap what you think. Nobody cares, right? They do. You just have to give them a reason to care. So I believe that should be everyone's next move. Is go through every bit of your social media, your website, your handouts you give to potential people, everything from the language on the mat to everything, and solidify your cultural brand. That is so inconsistent. And when you lean into these AI generated flyers and stuff, you're killing your brand. You're just killing your brand, killing it, killing it. And you don't think that because it's convenient, and the cognitive decline of you using AI so much is telling you this is good. It's not. It's simply not. And I'll be the first to step up and say that. I will be the first. Okay? So, what else should be your next move? Well, man, that last quarter of the year, and like I said, I don't just think the last quarter, I'm thinking 1 year, 2 years, 3 years moving out. Profit sharing is going to be a big one for us, right? I'm 64. I want to give my team more. I want them to feel more valued. So we have a number. What is the number I need to take care of my life and my family well into retirement, right? What's the number we need to cover all the bills and payroll? Anything after that, me and my top tier people are going to do profit share. I don't know what that looks like exactly, but it's way overdue. It's something I've really wanted to cultivate, and it will inspire them. I'm not big on working on commissions and stuff. I think it's a poor way to run a business, but profit sharing now puts it in their hands. If you want to make extra money, then do this, but you're going to get this amazing salary to begin with, right? That you can trust will sustain you and your family. Both my guys own homes. They have children. I want to make sure those needs are met. Cool. So that's a next big thing for me on the horizon. The next big move will be, of course, I want to do all the curriculum videos for Black Belt Prep, because right now they have to go through all the videos from year 1 through 4 and piecemeal it together. I want to do a solid curriculum video that they can access easily for prep. I want to do one from Black Belt and beyond. I'm going to take 4 years because right now we have black belts. There's black belts, first degree, second degree, third degree, all in one class. We rotate from this group to this group to this group, no more. I want to do a black belt curriculum that rotates whether you're a black belt or you're third degree going to fourth, second degree going to third, right? Because it's pretty much at that level, they can all do the same thing. And it'll be based upon 2-year cycles, right? Third degree is 6 years. So we're talking about black belt to first degree to second degree to third. 6 years of curriculum rotating. Yeah, it'll be a mass undertaking, but I'm very, very excited about it. I have a lot of ideas of the things I've learned between kickboxing, Filipino fighting arts, jiu-jitsu, my own blend. And I want to really take our black belt stuff to a whole nother level. So I'm excited about that. And that's going to be one of my big next moves. So what are yours today? And is anything you want to add to that? And if you're here, you're watching this, what are your big takeaways today? What are your big takeaways today? Anybody? What are your big takeaways from today's show? Start putting it in the comments. All right, Marco, that was a good one, man. It was so good. All right, so let's begin by thanking our sponsors. We have Tucson, Market Muscles, Kids Love Life Skills, LC Accounting, Kin Creative. All services I work with, all people I love, all people that are making a difference in the martial arts industry. If you're interested, please DM them and reach out. Oh, Virginia, I'm pulling my black belt curriculum together in a very similar way to what you described. Just makes sense. It does. It does, because a black belt and third degree, they're proficiency wise, they're all pretty much at the same level. I just think it's a matter of how do I format that, Virginia, where, okay, I'm a black belt. There's 18 stripes a year. So we're talking about 36 stripes. So whether it's 36 stripes that used to sit at third degree or 36 stripes that were six, and it doesn't matter, right? It's just, how do I document that? I think what we might try to do, my first incarnation of that, is once you have 36 stripes, right? And we figure every 6 stripes, they're going to get a level stripe, right? So it's not uncommon for black belt for black belt going to first degree, by the end of 2 years, you have 6 level stripes on your belt, right? 6 level stripes times 6 stripes is 36 stripes. So that's how we do that. So I think it shouldn't matter what they've learned, as long as they have 6 level stripes on their belt, they test. Because what if you're gone for the summer and then you come back to black belt, right? You're going to test on the 36 stripes that you have. Yeah, we can talk about that. I think it's brilliant. Our retention is already very, very high at that level, and I want to continue to raise the bar on that. I just continue. We have great retention at black belt, first degree, second degree, but this we've got it's like hyperspace in Star Wars when the Millennium Falcon took off. I see it. I just got to get it all down on paper. So again, in your next move, if you're not constantly working on your curriculum, bettering it, then you're at a huge loss. The core revenue generator in any martial arts school is martial arts instruction. But make no mistakes, they come for the kicks and punches. They stay for the character development. They stay for the culture. They stay for the system of belief that they have in what you're creating. Cool? All right. So we got It's Time Live United coming up November 7th through 10th right here in Millbrae, California, 5 minutes from San Francisco Airport. Please, I encourage you to come. So far, 3 of the 20 spots are filled up. I'm very proud of that. And it's only June. So let's get all 20 spots filled up. Spend 4 days with us. It'll change your life. All right, it's time group mentoring. As I shared, I'm offering 1 free month. You can come hang out for a month, see if it's a good vibe. Reach out to Marco, Monique, Jason. We'll get you on board and you can spend a month. Right now, we're working on community marketing, community-based marketing. That's our whole month of June. If you want to join us, please reach out and we'll get you signed up. Cool. Where does people find me, Marco? Where can you find me, everybody? I'm everywhere. But, we have 10 years of Success Never Sleeps. You can find it at Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and of course, YouTube. I've had school owners simply watch this show and they run their businesses based upon the information they get from this show. And for everything else, you can find me at brannonbeliso.com. Cool. So I want to thank you for today. Think about what your next move is. And that next move is not simply, I need to clean the school tomorrow. It really is my next move to impact my business a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, right? 10 years from now. Vision thinking is not simply rooted in open the door, take the money, teach the classes, right? It is really long-term vision is what grows a legacy business. Cool. All right. Thank you, Marco, for holding down the helm. I am Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps. And when we talk again, please, you go out there, live your best life.